Hey guys, so today what I'm going to be doing is something a little bit different for you, but something that equally I've wanted to do for a little bit on this channel. And I know the channel's not become very far, but I don't know. I've been preparing it for a little bit, in my head at least. And so today what I'm going to be doing for you is not quite a whiskey tasting, because I've tasted all these whiskies before. They're all my own whiskies and all ones that I know I enjoy, but more of a whiskey discussion. I don't know. One of my ASMR joys is actually watching people enjoy alcohol. I don't know. I'm a bartender myself. That's my trade, which obviously you guys won't know. I might look. You might have thought I was 15. You might have thought I was 25. Who knows? But no. By trade, I'm a bartender myself, and discussing whiskey with my customers is one of my favourite things to do whilst at work, because there's just such a different range to them. And the three whiskies I have here for you today, whilst not the biggest range I would wish I could bring to you guys, which hopefully I will do in the future, is still a lovely range to start from. And especially people that haven't maybe tried whiskey before or have wanted to, but been a bit blown off by the mountain in front of you. This is going to be sort of like some notes and some guide almost. So to start with is what I think whiskey snobs, which I hate. Like, I think any sort of snobbery towards alcohol is frankly uncouth, because at the end of the day we're all just drinking something we enjoy. This isn't something where you should be like, oh, what I drink is better than what you drink, so you can't enjoy that. But anyway, this is Fireball. Now, it is a whiskey liqueur. It's not technically a whiskey, but it's still 33%, which is quite strong. I believe that's 66 proof in America. I'm not quite sure. We don't work on that down in here in Europe now. But no, this is a personal favourite of mine. A very, very good friend of mine. We bond often over Fireball. Just a competition we were at during a cappella, if you know that. We saw off a bottle of the Fireball during about an hour break, and it's just since then become a personal family thing. I include it in a lot of my cocktails, and obviously love drinking it with my friend there. And as you can see, bring it closer, hopefully it'll focus. This is the biggest pour in the glass, because as much as I love other whiskies, I think there is no shame in admitting that the one that is maybe slightly weaker, slightly more sweet, is your favourite. And Fireball is by far the nicest to drink. I could drink this by the pint load, maybe a bit far, but definitely by the wine glass load, which I used to do when studying at uni. I would definitely be. I remember a particular time my dad bringing me through a wine glass of Fireball when I was struggling with a particular part of my studies. But anyway, cheers. So Fireball is a cinnamon liqueur. Yeah, that flavour absolutely comes through, and you get the taste of the fire. I'm not going to say that that is by any chance like a dark fruits or something that's like goes down and you don't even notice, because it's not. The Fireball does kick back a little bit, but it's never in a sense that you would know it or is too harsh. Like, I think people have this fear about whiskey that, oh, it's going to be awful, I'm going to want to throw up immediately as soon as I've drunk it. And no, that Fireball there goes down nicely. Like, I just imagine a Fireball on a cold day in front of like a warm fireplace, just sipping a bit of Fireball down. And as a tip, if you're ever a bit scared, just a bit of Fireball with lemonade will go down a treat for you. So next up we have Bell's Whisky, a quite a basic Scotch, a personal family favourite of ours actually. Very specific reasons why we like it, but Bell's is probably your cheapest Scotch you'll find on the market that is one that people may recommend. And I just remember going into a club when I was 18 and not knowing what to drink, so drinking a Bell's and Coke, because it was just what I knew from my family. But anyway, chin chin. I found Bell's ever so smooth for a Scotch, because it is a Scotch whiskey, and there's something about it, Bell's, that just sits so nicely. It glides down the throat, and it reminds you it's there. I'm not going to lie and tell you it doesn't remind you it's there, but it does it in such a kind way where you never feel harsh about what you've drunk from a Bell's. It's a lovely Scotch whisky, and if you're looking for an introduction to Scotch whiskies, especially in the UK, because I know it's fairly cheap, I would absolutely recommend a Bell's for you. And finally, we have this, which comes in a special box. Is that fancy? It was a gift to my dad, actually, but we've shown the whiskies since we've been stuck in lockdown. And this is a Alcantation, I believe. This is my favourite thing that I can do with this. Get the bottle pop one more. There we go. This is a Scotch still, so that means it's distilled in Scotland, but it is a American oak, apparently Scotch, so I'm very excited to taste this. I've had a couple of sips of it before, but I'm still excited to see what it has to offer. So, as the Irish would say, which is where my family come from, Slánta. See, that one lets you know it's there a lot more. It's a lot more, it's hard to describe, but up the top of your mouth, whereas the Bell sits deep within your throat. That one has, I believe, more botanicals and just more spread around the palate, which I guess would be why it's more expensive of a whiskey. But whereas the Bell sits deeper, the Alcantation lets you know that it's spreads around the whole palate and it's up to your nose all the way around. It is there, but it is a lovely taste, and I would never put that off. Now, I wouldn't like to do a ranking because I love each for different reasons. Bell's for the family reasons, Fireball for the taste, and the Alcantation just because that is just a whiskey. If you were ever sat in a situation where you just wanted a drink to sip, and I do think it's what comes with whiskey is a bit of this superiority complex almost, like it's a bad thing but it's a good thing. But when I'm sat with a glass of whiskey, I just feel better in myself. So I would love to sit with one of those, just sip in. I would have all these neat, I believe whiskey on the rocks is an interesting thing to do, but personally not for me. The only ones I would do that with are like a JD Honey or a Green Apple Jack Daniels, which I also have. But with these ones I would prefer them straight and just a sip. But all of them are amazing. I recommend them all. What I haven't been able to put in today, which I wish I could, is an Irish whiskey, which is my family's true heritage because my family are Irish. But unfortunately, I didn't have a bottle in that I could do for this video. I only had the tiniest bit of my bottle of Jameson left, so it had to be forgone for this video. But if you guys would know, my obviously ranking of Irish whiskey will be up top just from my heritage. But otherwise, as I said, this isn't a ranking, this is more just a discussion of whiskey. And as I say, Fireball, you should never feel ashamed if you'd like a Fireball. There's a lot of snobs out there that will tell you this isn't whiskey. It is a whiskey liqueur, and if you enjoy that, you can still feel proud in that because it's amazing. Bell's may be a cheap whiskey, but it's still a beautiful whiskey at that, and I would love to drink a Bell's with any of you guys any day. So if you ever manage to see me, offer me a Bell's and a Coke, I'll absolutely accept it. And then obviously we have the more expensive bottles, which whilst they do live up to the value, I think if you don't have the money to spend, don't worry about it. It'll still be great regardless. But anyway, let's see if I can do this delicately. Oh, I wish I got the O on the bottom for the pattern. But anyway, that's all from me today, guys. So as we'd say in Ireland, Slánta, and good night. Sleep well. Thank you.